Win in silence and become untouchable. You've been told your whole life that to be powerful, you have to be seen. That to get respect, you must be the loudest voice in the room. That success is measured in visibility, in applause, in the constant humming validation of the crowd. You've been taught your wins aren't real until they're posted. Your progress is meaningless until it's announced, and your strength has to be performed for an audience to have any value. But what if all of that is wrong? What if the noise you're making isn't a signal of your power, but a symptom of your weakness? What if the greatest strength, the most unbreakable core, isn't forged in the spotlight, but in the quiet discipline of your own private world? Think of the emperors and slaves who ruled their worlds not by shouting louder, but by saying less. What if true power isn't about being seen at all? What if it's about staying silent? This is the path the Stoics walked. They understood a truth our modern world has desperately tried to forget. The loudest person in the room is often the most fragile, and the one who needs to explain their worth has already lost it. Most people today are caught in a frantic chase for power through visibility. They post their wins, explain their every move, and practically beg for validation from strangers who will forget them in an instant. They live their lives on trial, constantly defending themselves against the opinions of others, believing that being understood is the same as being strong. The Stoics flipped the script entirely. They taught that the strongest among us never need to justify their actions. They skip the spotlight on their grind because the grind is the reward. They dodge debates over their value because their value is intrinsic and needs no external cosigner. They let their actions roar. Think of Marcus Aurelius, the most powerful man in the world, commanding the Roman Empire through plagues, wars, and constant political betrayal. Yet his private journals, the Meditations, aren't filled with fantasies of fame or strategies for public approval. They are an obsessive, relentless exploration of self-restraint, of inner quiet, of mastering his own mind while the world outside burned. Think of Epictetus, who began life in the most powerless position imaginable, as a slave. He endured brutality, humiliation, and the complete stripping of his freedom. Yet he rose from those chains to become one of history's most revered philosophical teachers. He didn't do it by screaming for justice or begging for his freedom. He did it through a radical and unyielding mastery of his inner world, through a silence so profound that no external force could penetrate it. And think of Seneca, a man of immense wealth and influence, who knew firsthand the corrosive nature of public opinion. He understood that applause rots faster than hate, and that the cheers of the crowd are a drug that weakens the soul. Their lives point to a single, formidable truth. Win privately. Guard your fire. Let your outcomes be the only reply that shuts mouths. This isn't about hiding from the world. It's not about being a hermit or shunning human connection. This is about building a strength so deep and real that it becomes your foundation. An unbreakable core that allows you to move through the world with a quiet power that others can only feel but never touch. This is the path to becoming untouchable. If you're tired of the noise, tired of the performance, and ready to build something real inside yourself, then stick around. Here, you'll learn the Stoic art of winning in silence, building an unshakable inner fortress, and becoming the kind of person whose results are the only reply anyone ever needs. Part 1. Why Stoics Value. Silence. Let's start with a gut punch from the former slave Epictetus. He says, "If you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid." Let that sink in. In a world obsessed with looking smart, with having the right opinion, with winning every argument, the Stoic path to improvement begins with a willingness to look like you have no idea what you're doing. Why would anyone embrace looking dumb? Because the desperate need to be seen as intelligent, as in the know, is a chain. Every time you feel that urge to correct someone, to jump into a debate, to prove your knowledge, you are handing over the reins of your emotional state to someone else. You're saying, "My peace of mind depends on you agreeing with me. My self-worth is tied to you seeing me as smart." The Stoics understood that this craving for external approval is the greatest vulnerability a person can have. It makes you predictable. It makes you controllable. If someone knows you can't stand being thought of as foolish, they know exactly how to manipulate you. All they have to do is challenge your intelligence and you'll react on command every single time. You become a puppet, and their opinion is the string. Silence, in the Stoic sense, isn't an act of retreat. It's an act of energy lockdown. It's the conscious decision to stop leaking your power into conversations that don't matter. It's understanding that your internal resources, your focus, your emotional calm, your mental clarity are finite and precious. To spend them on winning meaningless debates or correcting strangers' opinions is like lighting your money on fire just to feel a moment of warmth. Marcus Aurelius lived this principle at the highest level. As emperor, he was surrounded by people who talked incessantly. He saw senators who preached virtue in public while plotting treason in private. He saw generals who boasted of bravery but faltered in battle. He saw sycophants who showered him with praise to his face and criticism behind his back. His response wasn't to engage them in endless arguments or go on a PR tour to defend his character. His response was a profound and disciplined silence, backed by relentless action. He countered the court's noise by acting, not announcing. He focused on being a just and effective ruler, not on talking about being one. Enduring, not whining. When faced with hardship or betrayal, he turned inward to his principles, not outward to complain. Leading, not posing. His authority came from his character and deeds, not from posturing. He captured this entire philosophy in one of the most powerful lines ever written. Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one. That single sentence is the heart of the Stoic valuation of silence. Talk is cheap fuel. It burns fast, makes a lot of noise, and produces very little energy. It gives the illusion of progress with none of the substance. Action, on the other hand, is rare gold. It's difficult to mine, heavy to carry, and silent in its value. But it's the only thing with real purchasing power in the world. When you're silent, you aren't empty. You're observing. You're listening. You're conserving your energy for what truly matters. Your work, your character, your duties. You're choosing to invest in the gold of action rather than the cheap fuel of talk. You're realizing that the less you say, the more your actions will mean. This isn't about being antisocial or smugly superior. It's a strategic choice. It's recognizing that true improvement happens in the dojo, not in the commentary box. By being content to be thought foolish, you free yourself from the need to perform. You give yourself permission to be a beginner, to ask questions, to learn and grow, all without the crippling fear of judgment. And in that freedom, you begin to build the quiet, unshakable confidence that is the hallmark of the Stoic mind. Part 2, the addiction to be understood. Let's be honest for a second. That constant stream of words pouring out of you, in texts, meetings, arguments, where is it really coming from? You tell yourself you're communicating, clarifying, connecting, but the Stoics would ask you to look deeper. You're not talking from strength, you're leaking doubt. Ever explain just to feel safe? That's the trap. Most of our compulsive explaining isn't a sign of confidence, it's a symptom of anxiety. We're addicted to being understood because we're terrified of being misunderstood. We believe that if we can just find the perfect combination of words, We can control how other people see us. We think we can puppet their perceptions and manage their narratives to ensure they have an accurate, favorable image of who we are. The Stoics would call this what it is: chains. Every time you feel that frantic urge to justify a decision, defend your intentions, or correct someone's interpretation of you, you are willingly placing another link around your own neck. You're making your inner peace conditional on something you can never control: the mind of another person. We over-explain to ease our own fears of being judged. We talk and talk to dodge the discomfort of potential conflict, hoping to leave no room for misinterpretation, no space for another person's story about us to take root. We are constantly trying to be the editor of everyone else's reality. Marcus Aurelius faced this trap in its most extreme form. As emperor, every action he took was scrutinized, every decision debated, every motive questioned. He could have spent his entire reign in a state of perpetual defense, writing speeches and trying to manage the opinions of millions. But he came to a raw and liberating realization: live right, and you'll be hated anyway. Do your duty with honor, and someone will call you a tyrant. Act with kindness, and someone will call you weak. Show restraint, and someone will call you indecisive. He understood that trying to fix every hater and correct every misunderstanding was a fool's errand. It was a guaranteed way to die exhausted and unfulfilled. He wrote in his meditations, "Someone despises me. That's their problem. Mine, not to do or say anything despicable." And later, external things are not the problem. It's your assessment of them, which you can erase right now. This is a radical shift. The problem isn't that someone misunderstands you. The problem is that you believe their misunderstanding has power over you. The problem is your internal panicked reaction to their external opinion. The truth is, your intent, your hustle, your soul, these are yours and yours alone. They exist inside you in what the Stoics called the inner citadel, a fortress of the mind that no one else can breach unless you grant them entry. Their spins, their narratives, their judgments, that is all just irrelevant noise outside the castle walls. They can shout all they want, but they can't get in. But every time you rush out to argue, every time you feel that desperate need to be understood, you're willingly lowering the drawbridge and inviting the chaos inside. You're handing the keys to your inner peace to the very people who wish to disturb it. Silence snaps the chain. When you consciously choose to stop explaining, you're not being passive. You're asserting a powerful boundary. You're making a declaration. My inner world is my own. I am the sole authority here. Your opinion is not required for my peace to exist. This is terrifying at first. When you stop talking, a void opens up. And in that void, you'll feel the phantom pains of your addiction. The anxiety will rise. The urge to jump in and fix their perception will feel immense. You will feel unsafe, exposed, and vulnerable. But if you can hold that silence, if you can sit with that discomfort and not react, something incredible happens. The anxiety subsides. The need for their approval withers. You begin to realize that you are still standing. Their misunderstanding didn't kill you. Their judgment didn't break you. You are still whole, still in control of your own mind. And in that moment, you will taste true freedom for the first time. Freedom tastes quiet. It's the quiet confidence of knowing who you are, independent of anyone else's validation. It's the quiet strength of a mind that doesn't need to defend itself because it's secure in its own integrity. This is the freedom the Stoics fought for, not on battlefields, but in the silent chambers of their own minds. Part 3. Winning in private. The world celebrates wins that are loud. The trophy hoisted in a stadium. the viral social media post, the promotion announced in a company-wide email. We're conditioned to believe a victory isn't real until it's been publicly validated. But the Stoics knew these are not the wins that build an unbreakable person. The most important victories are the ones no one ever sees. Real wins whisper. They're the dawn workouts in dark, empty rooms. They're the choice to remain calm when your blood is boiling with anger. They're the hard decisions made with integrity when no one is watching and no one will ever know. These moments aren't sexy. They don't make for a good highlight reel on your social media feed. You can't post a picture of the time you chose not to say the cruel thing on the tip of your tongue. You can't get likes for the night you stayed in to study while your friends were out partying. You can't get applause for showing up and doing the boring, repetitive work day after day. These private wins are the bedrock. They are what forge your identity. They build what the Stoics called your hegemonikon, or your ruling faculty, the core of your character. This is the part of you that remains when the hype crumbles, the applause fades, and the external validation disappears. It is the rock you stand on when the storms of life hit. Seneca, one of the wealthiest men in Rome, was surrounded by luxury and public acclaim, yet he was acutely aware of its emptiness. He knew the cheers of the crowd were a hollow echo, a meaningless noise that bred addiction, not strength. He famously wrote about practicing voluntary hardship, deliberately living for days as if he were poor, eating simple food, wearing basic clothes, sleeping on a hard floor. Why would a rich man do this? Was it a performance? No. It was a private win. He was training himself in secret. He was proving to himself, and only to himself, that he could endure hardship. He was detaching his sense of well-being from his external circumstances. He was building an inner resilience that no financial loss, no political maneuvering, no turn of fortune could ever take from him. He was making sure he was the master of his wealth, not its slave. This is the Stoic litmus test for your life. It's not about what you can achieve when everyone is watching. It's about the standards you hold for yourself when you are completely alone. The real questions of character are, who am I when no one is looking? Do I honor my own code even when it's inconvenient? Do I do the hard thing, the right thing, even when the easy wrong thing is available and untraceable? That is your true scorecard. Not your follower count, not the title on your business card, not the money in your bank account. Your true measure is the integrity of your actions in the silent, unobserved moments of your life. Every time you choose discipline over indulgence, courage over comfort, reason over emotional reaction, and you do it in private just to hold yourself to a higher standard. You cast a vote for the person you want to become. You lay another brick in the foundation of your inner citadel. These private victories compound over time. They build a deep, quiet, unshakable self-respect. This is a form of respect that can never be given to you by others, and, more importantly, can never be taken away. It comes from the profound knowledge that you are a person who keeps promises to yourself. This is what it means to be unbreakable. It's not about being immune to pain or hardship. It's about having a core so strong, a character so well forged in the fires of private discipline, that when the world tries to knock you down, it finds you're standing on solid rock. Your private wins have built a fortress, and you are safe inside. That is your unbreakable score. Part 4, why talking about progress slows progress. Picture this. You've decided to make a change. You're going to get in shape, start a business, learn a skill, write a book. You feel a surge of motivation. The vision is clear. The energy is high. What's the very first thing most people do? They announce it. They post on social media. Day 1 of my fitness journey, big things coming. They tell all their friends about their revolutionary business idea. They declare to their family that this is the year they finally learn Spanish. Announce your glow up and watch the grind come to a halt. Why does sharing sabotage you? It feels good to talk about our goals. It gives us a little hit of dopamine, a premature sense of accomplishment. When people react with encouragement, wow, that's amazing. You're going to crush it. Our brain registers that social approval as if we've already achieved the goal. We get the reward without doing the work. Psychologists call this, social reality. By talking about your goal, you trick your brain into feeling it's closer than it is, which kills your motivation to put in the hard effort required. But the Stoics would point to an even deeper danger. The moment you announce your journey, you invite an audience, and an audience changes everything. Suddenly, your private quest for self-improvement becomes a public performance. And with performance comes a host of saboteurs. Judgmental eyes. Your progress is no longer your own. It's now subject to the opinions and critiques of others. People will watch. They'll judge your methods. They'll question your commitment. The pure internal drive to improve becomes tainted by the external pressure to look good while doing it. Fake stakes. The stakes of your journey are no longer about your own growth. They become about not looking like a failure in front of others. You're no longer trying to get stronger for yourself. You're trying to avoid the embarrassment of quitting after your big announcement. This fear can be paralyzing. Performance. Panic. Real change is gritty and solo. It's 2 steps forward, 1 step back. It involves doubt, failure, and wanting to give up. It's not a clean highlight reel. But when you have an audience, you feel pressure to present one. You hide your struggles and fake your confidence. The journey is no longer authentic. It's a curated show. These declarations are pure ego. They're spikes of validation based on mini wins, or even just the intention of a win. And what spikes inevitably crashes. The moment you have a setback, you miss a workout, your business idea hits a snag, the shame is magnified because you know people are watching. The crash is harder, and the likelihood of quitting skyrockets. Marcus Aurelius didn't send out a daily decree saying, "Today, I practiced being more patient." He didn't need the empire's approval for his personal growth. He understood that the work of the soul is a deeply private, sacred endeavor. The crowds, with their fleeting opinions, can't possibly grasp it. Their input isn't just unhelpful, it's actively harmful. So he ditched the talk and dove into the doing. He rebuilt his throne, his inner kingdom, in secret. The Stoic approach is to let your ambition be a silent one. Let the goal live inside you, a private fire you tend to every day. Don't talk about the book you're going to write, just write a page. Every day. In silence, don't announce the marathon you're going to run, just go for a run. Every day. In silence, don't boast about the business you're going to build, just make one more sales call. In silence, let the work be its own reward. Let the feeling of discipline be the validation you seek. Let the quiet satisfaction of keeping a promise to yourself be the only applause you need. When you operate this way, you protect the process. You keep it pure. You give yourself the freedom to fail, to learn, and to grow without the crippling weight of public expectation. The journey remains yours and yours alone. And then, one day, people will simply notice. They won't notice your announcement. They'll notice the result. They'll see your new strength. They'll see your successful business. They'll hear you speaking a new language. They won't know about the thousands of silent hours you put in. They'll only see the outcome. And in their surprise, in their quiet awe, your victory will be undeniable. It won't need an announcement. The result is the announcement. Keep it private. Stay pure. Part 5. Access is earned. Your mind is your most sacred space, your inner citadel. The one place in the universe where you have absolute sovereignty. It's where your peace resides, where your plans are forged, and where your character is built. Now, ask yourself, do you treat it like a fortress or a public park? Are there guards at the gate, or do you let anyone and everyone wander in, track mud on the floors, and vandalize the walls? Not everyone gets a key to your mind. The Stoics gatekeep ruthlessly, and here's why. To give someone access to your mind is to give them power. It's to grant them influence over your plans, your peace, and your reactions. When you share your goals, fears, and strategies indiscriminately, you're handing out keys to your fortress to people who may not have your best interests at heart. Epictetus, who knew what it meant to have his physical body completely controlled by others, was obsessed with maintaining the freedom of his inner world. He taught that while you may not control what happens to you, you always control how you interpret it and how you respond. This inner empire was his, and his alone. He was the sole gatekeeper. Applying this today requires a form of social and emotional ruthlessness that our oversharing culture finds uncomfortable. It means understanding that access to your thoughts, your time, and your energy is not a right. It's a privilege that must be earned through trust, respect, and aligned values. Think about the people in your life, the on-demanders, who feel entitled to your time and explanations, the Renosi, who pry for information not out of care, but out of gossip-driven curiosity, the one pushy, who disrespect your boundaries and try to force their way into your decisions, the word critics, who are always ready to point out the flaws in your plans but never offer real help. You do not owe these people access. You don't owe the demander a detailed breakdown of your schedule. A simple, "that doesn't work for me," is enough. You don't owe the nosy person the intimate details of your life. A polite, "I prefer to keep that private," is a complete answer. You don't owe the pushy person a justification for your boundaries. "No" is a full sentence. You don't owe the critic a debate about your vision. Your energy is better spent building it. Silence is the sorting mechanism. When you stop over-explaining and simply hold your ground with quiet firmness, you create a powerful filter. People's reactions to your silence will tell you everything you need to know about them. Respecters adjust. People who genuinely respect you will understand and honor your boundaries. They may not like your answer, but they'll accept it because their respect for you isn't conditional on you giving them what they want. Taker's tantrum. People who are used to using you, controlling you, or feeding off your energy will react poorly. They'll call you selfish, secretive, or difficult. They'll push harder, trying to provoke you back into the old pattern of over-explaining. Their frustration isn't a sign that you're doing something wrong. It's a signal that your boundary is working. It's a sign you've just cut off their supply. Their reaction is data gold. It's invaluable information that reveals their true character. The tantrum of a taker is the sound of a successful boundary being enforced. This isn't about being unkind or unloving. For the few people in your inner circle, those who have proven their loyalty, wisdom, and trustworthiness, you can and should grant access. These are the people you can be vulnerable with. But this access should be a rare and consciously given gift, not a default setting. For everyone else, the gate remains closed. Your plans are developed in the quiet counsel of your own mind, perhaps with one or two trusted advisors. Your energy is protected. Your peace is non-negotiable. By practicing this ruthless gatekeeping, you aren't pushing people away. You're protecting your ability to show up in the world as the strongest, calmest, most effective version of yourself. You are preserving the sanctity of your inner citadel, ensuring that when you do act, you act from a place of uncompromised strength and clarity. Part 6. Protecting energy as currency. Think of your energy, your mental focus, your emotional stability, your willpower, not as an infinite resource, but as a finite currency. Every day, you wake up with a certain amount in your account. Let's say it's 100 units. Now track where it goes. 5 units spent getting angry in traffic. 10 units spent arguing with a stranger online. 15 units spent replaying a past conversation in your head, thinking of all the things you should have said. 20 units spent worrying about a future you can't control. 25 units spent justifying your life choices to a relative who will never approve anyway. It's barely lunchtime, and your account is overdrawn. You feel drained, distracted, and irritable, and you haven't even gotten to your most important work yet. Stoics hacked energy management 2,000 years before modern science gave it a name. They understood a fundamental law of human existence. Every trivial engagement is a heist. You think you're drained by your tasks, by the work itself, but more often you're drained by the meta-work, the unnecessary friction you allow into your life. You are being robbed blind, not by a single dramatic event, but by 1,000 tiny, self-inflicted cuts. You're drained not by your job, but by petty beefs with coworkers that you could have ignored, endless justifications of your methods to a boss who doesn't care, mood vampires might, who corner you and unload their negativity, leaving you depleted. The Stoics saw this leakage of vital energy as one of the greatest obstacles to a good life. Their solution was a ruthless emotional and conversational economy. Marcus Aurelius put it this way: if you seek tranquility, do less. He clarified that he didn't mean do nothing, but rather do what's essential, which brings a double satisfaction: to do less, better. For Marcus, this meant constantly asking, is this necessary? Is this conversation necessary? Is this emotional reaction necessary? Is this worry necessary? He created a mantra we can all use today. Peace priced too high. Pass. Is the momentary satisfaction of winning this argument worth the cost to my inner peace? Pass. Is the fleeting pleasure of gossiping about this person worth my mental energy? Pass. Is the need to get the last word in worth the emotional turmoil it will create? Pass. Silence, in this context, is an argument shield. It's a refusal to engage in battles that offer no meaningful prize. When someone tries to provoke you, your silence isn't weakness. It's a strategic decision that says, this is not worth my currency. My peace is more valuable than this conflict. Silence is theft-proof. When you stop volunteering information unnecessarily, stop announcing your plans, and stop justifying your existence, you give potential energy thieves nothing to grab onto. They can't critique a plan they don't know about. They can't drain you in a debate you refuse to enter. Silence is focus fuel. Every bit of energy you conserve by avoiding useless talk is more fuel you can pour into what truly matters: your work, your creative projects, your relationships, your health, your growth. When you start treating your energy like currency, your entire perspective shifts. You stop giving it away for free. You become a shrewd investor of your own vitality. You start looking at every potential interaction and asking, what is the return on this investment? Arguing with a troll online? negative ROI. Defending your life choices to your judgmental aunt, negative ROI. Spending an hour in quiet, deep work on your most important project, massive ROI. Having a meaningful, present conversation with a loved one, infinite ROI. The results will follow automatically. When you're no longer constantly drained by trivialities, you'll have a surplus of energy. This surplus translates directly into higher quality work, better decisions, and a calm, centered presence that people will notice. You won't have to tell anyone you're more focused. They'll feel it. Your well-managed energy will become a quiet force that reshapes your reality. Part 7. Let results be your only reply. Imagine you're in a boxing ring. In one corner, a fighter spends all his time between rounds trash-talking his opponent. He shouts about how skilled he is, how hard he's trained, how he's going to dominate. In the other corner, a fighter is completely silent. He sits on his stool, breathes, listens to his coach, and focuses. When the bell rings, which fighter's words matter? Neither. The only thing that matters is how they perform. The talker might get knocked out in 30 seconds. The silent fighter might reveal a level of skill no one expected. The truth isn't revealed in the talk. It's revealed in the outcome. Words fuel fights. Results kill them dead. This is the ultimate expression of Stoic power. We're constantly pulled into debates about our worth, our competence, our decisions. These debates are almost never about finding truth. They're about ego, one person trying to establish dominance over another. The Stoics teach us to simply exit the ring. Don't even bother putting on the gloves. When someone questions your ability, your first instinct is to defend yourself with words. You want to list your qualifications, recount your past successes, explain your strategy. You want to convince them they are wrong. The Stoic response is silence, a quiet, focused, and relentless application of your craft. You don't argue with their doubts. You get to work. You pour all that defensive energy directly into the task at hand. You let the quality of your work become your argument. Epictetus was blunt about this. Don't explain your philosophy. Embody it. He could have said the same about your talent or your work ethic. Don't talk about it. Be it. Let your life be the demonstration. Think about it. When someone says, "You'll never build that business," a verbal debate is a waste of breath. The only real reply is a thriving business. When someone says, "You're not disciplined enough to get in shape," arguing is pointless. The only meaningful reply is a photo of you 6 months later, strong and healthy. When someone accuses you of being selfish for setting a boundary, explaining yourself only leads to more argument. The only powerful reply is the quiet, continued enforcement of that boundary and the resulting peace in your life. Outcomes don't plead. They don't negotiate. They don't get emotional. They just land with the undeniable weight of reality. When your results show up, the entire conversation changes. The doubters are forced to confront a new reality that you created. They may not admit they were wrong. Ego rarely allows that. But their criticism will fall silent, replaced by a grudging respect, or, at the very least, confused quiet. This is not about payback. It's not about working hard just to prove haters wrong. That would still be letting them control the narrative. The motivation isn't, "I'll show them." The motivation is, "I'll show myself." You aren't performing for them. You're actualizing your own potential by your own standards. The fact that your success silences them is just a side effect. This is pure power. It's the power of reality over opinion. The power of creation over criticism. The critic tears things down. but the creator builds a new world that makes the critic irrelevant. So the next time you feel the pull to defend yourself, to argue your case, to convince a skeptic, take a breath. Step out of the ring. Go back to your corner, and instead of talking, get to work. Channel every ounce of that frustrated energy into your craft. Let your focus become absolute. Let the final bell be the moment your result is revealed. Let that be the knockout punch. No words are necessary. The outcome is the only reply. Part 8, the final Stoic identity shift. There comes a point on this path where something fundamental inside you changes. It's not a single event, but a slow, gradual transformation that happens in the quiet moments of your discipline. You stop practicing silence and you start becoming it. The shift hits silent. You morph, cooler, steelier, picker. You find that the frantic need for external validation has simply evaporated. The constant low-grade anxiety about what others think of you is gone, replaced by a deep, calm certainty that comes from your core. You stop life logging. The urge to document and share every moment, every thought, every minor win feels foreign and a little desperate. Your life is no longer a performance for an unseen audience. It's something you are living for yourself. The richness of the experience itself becomes the reward, and the idea of pausing it to capture it for others feels like a cheapening of the moment. You stop validation hunting. You no longer fish for compliments or steer conversations to casually mention your successes. You find that others' approval, while pleasant, is like candy, a quick, sugary hit that leaves you empty. Real nourishment comes from your own self-respect, earned through private wins no one else knows about. You become your own witness, and your approval becomes the only one that truly matters. You just show up, transformed. You don't announce it. There is no before and after post. You simply start moving through the world differently. Your presence changes. There's a weight to your stillness, a clarity in your brevity. People who are used to provoking you into long, defensive explanations find their hooks no longer find perches. They sense it. The shift is palpable. They might not be able to articulate it, but they feel the change in the power dynamic. They sense you're no longer playing the same game. Your refusal to be drawn into drama, your calm detachment from their opinions, your quiet focus on your own path. It can be unnerving to those who thrive on noise and reaction. Some will fear it. Your newfound self-possession can feel like a judgment on their own lack of it. Your silence can feel like a mirror reflecting their own neediness and insecurity back at them. But the wise, those who value strength and integrity, will bow to it. They will recognize the quiet authority you now carry. It's not the authority of a title or a position, but the authority of a person who has mastered themselves. They will respect you more, not less, for your economy of words. They will listen more intently when you do choose to speak because they know your words aren't cheap. This is the final destination. This is what it means to become stoically untouchable. It's not about being a cold, emotionless robot or building walls to keep people out. It's the exact opposite. It's about building a foundation so strong within yourself that you can engage with the world openly, honestly, and fearlessly. You're untouchable, not because nothing can hurt you, but because you have a profound, unshakable trust in your ability to handle whatever comes your way. Your peace is no longer a fragile thing dependent on external conditions. It's a fortress, built brick by brick with every private win, every disciplined choice, every moment of intentional silence. This is the ultimate victory. A victory won not in the noisy arena of public opinion, but in the sacred silent space of your own soul. You have become a person of substance, a a person of quiet power. You have cultivated an energy fortress. Your actions have become reality's voice, and you have achieved the greatest freedom of all, the freedom from needing anyone else's approval. You have won in silence. Before we conclude, reflect on these principles. Which one hit you the hardest? Is it the idea of protecting your energy as currency, or letting your results be your only reply? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Your insight could be the spark that helps someone else on their own journey. And if this message resonates, subscribe and join a community dedicated to building an unbreakable inner world. We've traveled a long way, from the noisy desperation for approval to the quiet power of the inner citadel. The Stoic path isn't easy. It requires you to swim against the current of modern culture, to choose discipline when the world offers distraction, and to choose silence when the world demands noise. But the rewards are immeasurable. The reward of self-possession. The reward of inner peace amid outer chaos. The reward of becoming a person whose worth isn't determined by the clacking of tongues, as Marcus Aurelius called it, but by the solid weight of their own character. Remember the core lessons. Your energy is your most precious currency. Don't squander it. Your progress is sacred. Protect it from the dilution of public performance. Your mind is a fortress. You are the only gatekeeper, and your results are your most powerful statement. Let them speak for you. This is not a one-time fix. It's a daily practice. It's a lifelong commitment to choosing the difficult, quiet path of action over the easy, loud path of talk. Start today. Choose one small area of your life where you can practice winning in silence. Say less, do more. Observe the change not only in the world around you, but more importantly, within you. Build your strength in private. Guard your fire. And let the unbreakable, untouchable person you become be the only argument you ever need to make.